It is very difficult to consider that it's been 4 long years, well, sort of, going on 4 long years since Vinland Saga Season 1 aired, and all it took was for Mappa to go, all right, we'll handle that, and take it from what studio just to continue on this series. And after the first episode, my expectations just shot through the roof. I already feel like Mappa is doing an absolutely incredible job with this show so far, only having like one very brief snippet of some CGI. The rest of it was absolutely gorgeous. Now, to be perfectly honest, the first season, a lot of my love for that series was around the visual design, the style, and how they really captured that setting. And I really do feel like that's carried over into the second season, despite the fact that I think the director only worked on a couple episodes of the first season. The directing is what sold me on that first season. But technically, towards the later part of the first season, a lot of my love started going around the characters. Finally, I started getting into Askeladd, I got into Canute and all that kind of stuff. And yes, the unfortunate thing is going into the second season, we're kind of missing one of them. And so I'm not really quite sure where we can go from here. But anyhow, this is my thoughts on the first episode of Vinland Saga second season, even though I've already started it. A 24-episode series that is airing in the winter 2023 anime season, so let's jump right into it. Opening up this season, it seems as if we had Thorfinn after the events of what unfolded at the end of the first season. Seems like he got picked up by a slave trader and sold off to this guy who runs this farm. But that's really all we get of Thorfinn. He's much older, he looks like he's pretty broken, and again, he's just working for this farm. A majority of this episode really focuses on introducing a new character, it seems, which is Einar. And Einar was living a semi-peaceful life in northern England. We get a sense from his conversation with his mother that he's been trying to train to become a warrior in order to one day have to defend his village. Because it seems like in the past, his father died protecting the village, and they had to spend this whole time rebuilding it from the ashes. Well, flag it. Suddenly, one night, a band of bandits come in and completely destroy the village once again, killing both his sister and his mother, and pretty much capturing him to sell him off. And following this, you have his travels, him being sold off to other traders, and eventually coming to this one location where he decides, look, this can't be my life. I'm the only one that survived. I can't die here. And so he decides to try to flee, steal some food, and eventually gets captured again. And finally, after kind of giving in to his fate, look, it's true. What this slave trader said is true. I have no life out of this. I have no home to go back to. It's best that I just accept this new life. I'm going to be sold off to a master. I'm going to work hard to serve that master, and they will feed me food, and I will be happy. That is my only life going forward. And then, yes, we finally get a cameo of Leif. Leif just shows up out of nowhere in front of him, and yes, he's looking for Thorfinn. He's still looking for Thorfinn. This guy's whole life is having to look after Thorfinn. But yes, Einar is not Thorfinn. And then quickly after this, he ends up being confronted by Ketil, who is a master of a farm. And Ketil pretty much, it was interesting because Ketil doesn't say, oh, you look pretty strong. All right, I want this one. It gives me a little promise so far in Ketil as a character, is because the only thing that he really says to Einar is, yes, open your mouth, let me see your teeth. All right, you look healthy. But he says, would you like to work at my farm? He asks him if he would be okay working at his farm, which, yes, doesn't mean too much, but a question rather than a command immediately does give you a little feeling of somebody. Yes, he ends up buying Einar, takes him all the way back to his farm, and yes, that's when Einar meets Thorfinn, who comes out with raggy long hair and an axe in his hand. But yes, this first episode, absolutely beautiful, beautifully portrayed, beautifully directed, tragic as all get, but that is technically Vinland Saga. We're talking about Vikings and bandits and pillaging and killing and all that kind of stuff. That is this world of this current time. And again, like I said, very well portrayed. Again, emphasizing the fact that even though one of the fears of it going to Mappa is a concern of CGI, let's be perfectly clear, Vinland Saga Season 1 had plenty of CGI, a lot of CGI, and a lot of it was woof. But again, Mappa did an incredible job here, and again, very brief uses of CGI in this episode, and hopefully they stick to that. It looks very good. I think the introduction of Einar is perfect. I hope that he is a really solid ongoing character of the series. Hopefully it wasn't just introducing him just for the sake of introducing the fact that, yes, this world's screwed up and people lose their lives and people get thrown into slavery. It seems like it was really kind of, what I'm getting right now is it almost feels like it's kind of setting up something for Thorfinn. Einar, obviously, trying to live a peaceful life. He lost his father. He tried to protect his family, failed miserably, by the way, which, I mean, how can I blame him? I've never been in a situation like that, but failed miserably to protect his family, failed miserably to run, and he got, again, everything destroyed by Vikings, then being sold off, getting a little bit of a sense of what it means to be somebody pulled away from your existence, your life, your normality, your peaceful existence with your family and everything, this future that you had ahead of you, and then suddenly your future's not your own. That cutting straight of what you had, and suddenly you have nothing and you won't get anything. That's a story that honestly breaks my heart. The thought of that just breaks my heart. And even still, having the opportunity to finally run and, again, unfortunately not being able to pull it off and being pulled right back into it, and then finally accepting his fate. And it even says towards the later part of it, when he first meets Thorfinn, it has a little bit of narration, which I'm guessing is kind of alluding to the future parts of this. I finally gave up on it. I finally gave up. I was at the point where I accepted that this is my fate. This is my future. This is how it's going to be. Then I met Thorfinn. Again, kind of already hinting at the idea that the two of them will possibly work together, maybe to escape or to free themselves or whatever. But the point that that really jumps in my head immediately is, okay, Einar, life ruined by Vikings, ripped from his family and his peaceful life, thrown into slavery, and then now he's before Thorfinn, which, let's be honest, where did Thorfinn come from? Now, granted, Thorfinn, his entire story wasn't really about, oh yeah, Viking life for me. I mean, yes, he did look up to his father and everything, but Thorfinn wasn't really, wasn't what he was out for. He was out to get revenge against Askeladd. But he was still helping Askeladd. And that was my issue that I had with Thorfinn as a character in the first season. I hated Thorfinn's character. It's hard for me to remember everything about the first season, but the one thing that is burned in my head is I do not like Thorfinn's character. He was super repetitive in that first season. Again, I felt for him at the very beginning. I loved Thors's character. I hated what happened to Thors. And then it jumped straight to Askeladd being chased around by Thorfinn, and it was like, holy crap, I don't care. Like, is this the whole story? Is this going to be 24 episodes of Thorfinn whining and wanting to kill Askeladd? And then suddenly, Askeladd and Canute happened. Their story happened. And then suddenly I was like, holy crap, I'm actually into this overall story. I'm into what they're getting into with Canute. And that's what sucked, is that ending just kind of cut it off. And that's what I'm hoping to continue now. Hopefully now, Thorfinn is grown up. Again, I feel bad for him. Hopefully he's grown up. Hopefully now he can start moving forward. Obviously he's going to be broken. He looks like a broken dude. He looks like a dude that he lost his whole purpose in life, got thrown into working for this guy, and then probably that just became his new normal. And so he's not going to have any passion in there. But the key thing is here, like I was getting to before I got sidetracked, Thorfinn was a Viking. He helped pillage many people. He worked and assisted Askeladd in what he was doing. And now, Einar, who lost everything due to them, is now standing before him. And I'm curious if it's going to be Einar already picks it up very quickly. Does he realize, based on how Thorfinn looks, that he obviously isn't of this area? How quickly is he going to pick up on who Thorfinn is and what he used to be? Will he get stories of his past? Will he get something that kind of equates him to him? And I think when that happens, Einar is probably going to want Thorfinn dead. Even though Thorfinn isn't directly at fault for what happened with him, it's still going to be a struggle there. So, or is it going to be an aspect of Thorfinn learns to deal with the fact of what he did in the past because of that? Because we really haven't had that moment. We really haven't had the moment where Thorfinn really realizes what everything that he did in the past and who he helped and all the tragedies that happened because he was there. That was some of the most messed up stuff that I remember from the first season, was just, Thorfinn, you're helping some bad people here. But again, that was Askeladd's journey. That's what Askeladd wanted to do. He had his own purpose, his own goals that he wanted to seek out. But yeah, I love seeing Leif again. Hopefully he finds Thorfinn. But yeah, definitely excited for this season. Again, I'm not in the boat of, oh my gosh, this is going to be Farmland Simulator, whatever jokes that people have. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great story here. Just based on the PV, I'm already seeing that there's a lot to do with Canute. And like I said before, that was one of one of the most interesting aspects of the first season was Canute. So again, just a little sad somebody else is not in the story. That was super interesting, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 1 of Vinland Saga, the second season. Looking forward to more. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know if I screwed something up story-wise, because again, it's been like almost 4 years. I almost thought about going back and just at least rewatching some of the stuff around at least Askeladd. But if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. I greatly appreciate what it does, and y'all take care.